Hey, what's up? Welcome to the new video. Alright, so here's the deal. You know Epidemic Sound, the huge library of royalty-free music? So I did their free trial and the service is really nice. You can pick between like thousands of songs. But 15 bucks a month, it's not exactly cheap for me. So then I sat down and I started thinking. I invested all this money into my instruments and music gear, so why not just make some music from scratch that I can use in my videos? So that's what we're doing today. Before we start, I'm kindly asking you to subscribe. It's free and it helps the channel a lot, so thank you. Okay, now let's jump into Ableton Live. Alright, so welcome to Ableton. Okay, so the plan is to make some music that I can use. Let's say if I have a sequence, I'm going to the store and I need to edit on beat to the music, and I need some cool music that accompanies that whole sequence. So I think the best way to start would be to make some cool hip-hop beats that I can use for that purpose. I think I have a nice little drum pack that it's inspired by J Dilla. Yeah, one for Dilla. So I think I'm gonna just use that. The tempo, I think we should set it to 88, let's say. Let's make a short little loop that we can use. And the key to this, I think, especially when you have a nice, like, engaging sequence of video, I think it's nice to have just like some simple music with exaggerated beats, so you make it engaging in that way. So you edit on the beat and it's nice and makes sense for the viewer. So that's what we're going for. So I think it's like a simple beat would be enough. I'm using two separate tracks for kicks, so I can put one way down and use it as a ghost kick. I think it should be simple, so let's just do it like boom, boom, boom. I think this could be one more. Boom, boom. So I'm gonna hold Command and right arrow and just like slightly offset it so we have more groove. Boom. Yeah. Boom, boom. These two as well, so I can do like the same amount, let's say. Yeah. And with the ghost kicks, you can do it even more. They can be really on offbeat. Alright? So let's see. Boom. Perfect. Now I can lower this volume, so I'm gonna put it on minus. I always like to regulate the volume in utility instead of here. I do that while mixing or something. So I'm gonna do the minus 20. Yes. Boom. Yes, that sounds good. I like the first one. So I like to work with audio because it's easy to visualize what we are doing. So I'm just gonna make like a simple beat. Yeah, exactly, like on every 16th note. I always like to adjust the volume. I double click on the sample and I put the gain quite down. Even for the first one, I like it quiet. And then usually the second one, I really lower the volume, as you can see. On the third one, I lower it, but a bit less. And on the last one, you lower it a lot. So that way you can emphasize the first beat. Okay, and now I'm gonna offset everything, so I duplicate the hi-hats for the whole 2 bars that we have. And now all I'm gonna do is, like before, offset the hi-hats. That gives it the groove. So I'm gonna Command and right click. So I move them a bit and I'm gonna lower the volume. Another thing that I like to do while making a beat is actually roll off the low frequency information that we don't need. Let's say hi-hats are prominent in high frequency spectrum, and samples of hi-hats usually have some low frequency information as well. So I like to roll off all the low end, not that much, like I'm on 200 Hz-ish, and it's usually nice to do a very gradual filter slope, not very harsh. Yeah, so now we have that. And all I'm gonna add now is some snares. I like a nice rim is always cool. So I'm gonna put it on 2 and 4. That's nice. I think I can make it even shorter. Yeah? Yeah. I like it like snappy. Yeah. And also with the rim or something, it's nice to roll off some of the low end, not too much though, like just the low end that's gonna be occupied by mainly the kick and the bass. Another thing that I like to do is to shift the snare or the rim a bit to the left, so early in time. That, I think, even exaggerates the swing, which I really like. Okay, that's it. I'm gonna keep it simple. I like to group all the things and name it drums. Yes, and I'm gonna nicely color it into the blue color, because I like blue. And now all I do is use the glue compressor, and I really like the full parallel drum setting, yeah. This really brings the drums nicely, yeah. And another thing that I like to do is use the small room reverb. I do a low cut, and I like to use the diffusion network. I put it on low, and I really put it low. And then I play around with dry and wet, and I usually put it at around like 15 or something. So I like to use a really small amount of reverb on drums. That's without. It's really plain, and with reverb, it's really nice. Maybe even a bit less. Yeah. That's cool. Okay, we have the drums. Now let's move to the melodic part. I think I'm gonna search for some jazz samples in my library and then try to flip it. Command F, jazz. That's cool. It's just 1/5 progression, I think. I'm gonna use that maybe, but I'm gonna flatten this. Freeze track, yeah, and flatten it, because I like to work with audio only, and I'm gonna use Simpler now just to flip it. So yeah. Ooh, how about this? Yeah, yeah, let's go. Yeah, I think that's cool. Let's go back and use the parts that yeah. Okay, now we gotta make this nice. All I'm gonna do is use the OTT. I have a little preset that I call OTT-My, so I'm gonna use this. That brings a bit of high frequencies out of the sample. All I'm gonna do is now go to EQ8 and remove some of the low frequencies. And also the high frequencies. I'm gonna make it a bit more lo-fi. But for this, I'm just gonna use this shelf, yeah. It needs to be quite soft. A bit of reverb and chorus. I can delete this part now. And now it's time to go for the bass. I'm gonna use this. Even though it's not in the key at all, it's in C minor, but it's real bass. So I think I'm gonna use the one note. This seems nice, yeah. I'm gonna chop it and then use the Simpler again to transpose it around. Actually, I need the Command J, so it isolates the note, and then I can put it in the Simpler. Yeah, and now I should hear it. And I'm gonna use the warp mode with complex. Yeah. Now I can delete this, and now we can add the bass line. I think it's gonna go between these two notes. Yeah. Do 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 do. Now let's record the bass line. I think I'm just gonna freestyle it and see. I learned that sometimes the most simple bass line works the best, so we're gonna keep it at this point. Now let's listen what we have. Now this needs some work. I'm gonna actually use the filter, yes, auto filter, just to lower the frequency a bit, because we don't need that much. Now let's listen with the drums. I like to add a bit of saturation, warm up the lows. That's a great preset that Ableton has. It really brings the nice frequencies. And then I like to again use the glue compressor and maybe the punch and parallel or low hanging extender preset. Yeah. We get a nice tone. Now let's lower this down. On my master channel I always have a span. That's a free plugin that helps you. It's a spectrum analyzer, and as you can see we have a lot of low end now with the kick and bass, but if I play you the piano it occupies this space. But we can see that our track lacks high frequency information, or it's quite high in low frequencies, so we gotta balance that, or either with adding some elements or subtracting some of the loudness from the low end. And first thing that you can do, and I always like to do, is side chain. I'm gonna group the kicks and then side chain the bass to the kick. For that I use the simple compressor. I put it always at the end. I'm gonna use kicks as input and then check the level of side chain. Yeah. Now let's listen to just the bass. If we add the kick now, it ducks every time we have a kick. Yeah. The spectrum is way more even. See? Now we're just lacking just a bit more here in the high frequency spectrum. And I think it could be cool to add actually the side chain on the piano as well. So let's see if I add it here. Yeah, what happens? Not so much. So far we have this simple bit. Now we need to make some arrangement. I like to start the beat with just maybe simple hi-hats, or we can just add the kick without the ghost kick and without the bass line. Or actually just leave it playing piano and add a bit of echo. I like to keep the last kick inside, so we have like a nice transition. So now I'm gonna add the auto filter to make a nice fade in transition. So with the filter, let's go to piano, and then I like to come here, and if we open this channel we can see that like we can affect the individual effect. So I'm gonna click on this and auto filter, and I like to click on frequency, and then we can have this slope. So let's start with a bit of fade in, yeah, and actually it could last through the whole section. So let's delete this and let's keep it so we have a really slow rise. Yeah, even more could be nice. Yeah, so we really have like a lo-fi texture. And now I'm gonna use the delay toggle and affect this even more so it swings even more. Let's listen with the drums. Now I'm gonna use the right. Yeah, like a jazz right, and I'm just gonna put it on the transition so it's. I'm gonna lead this, yeah. So we have, but this should be really quiet. And now I'm gonna actually duplicate this and reverse it and put it a bit in front so it gets really so it makes like a nice transition effect. And this I'm gonna put it more quiet, and this way more quiet. So we got like an. I can actually even cut this part so it's not. Yeah. I can. Okay, and now I'm gonna try to find some maybe voice samples or something. This could be nice, so I can put it like as a transition. I need to transpose it. I always like to use complex for this type of sounds. And I'm gonna put it, yeah, and now really low, so you can't really hear it, and roll off the low end, yeah. Okay, this is a cool detail, I think. Let's find something else. We could make a scene out of this. Let me cook, wait. Yeah, I think this could be nice, but I need to filter it a bit. Okay, now we got a nice section. And now let's try to make this work. So first thing we gotta do is filter it. And increase the release. But I'm gonna instead use the auto filter that I have here and automate it a bit. Now I'm gonna use phaser and flanger. So this gives like a wow. Yeah. And I'm gonna put it less. Yeah, nice. So now we have this, and I can actually put the same one on the piano, so it makes it even more lo-fi. I think what's missing here as well, it's a bit of grit and punch in the drums. So let's listen to that. Yeah. I'm gonna use my favorite saturator and put it between. And I'm really gonna saturate it. Even more. So we get like a punchy effects. And now I'm gonna use the Cymatics Origin plugin and put it here, and actually take all the drums and put them in the intro as well. So like this. And with this we get a really lo-fi feel. And what I'm gonna do is actually use again the automation, go to drums and go wait, let me pause this. Yeah, go device on. Yeah, so for the intro, I'm gonna leave it on and then immediately off. So we get like this effect. The plugin works and off. Yeah, nice. And now, actually, I'm gonna add another instance of this plugin and make it the opposite. So, yeah, when I'm gonna click on this one and again go on device on and keep it on while the other one goes off. So now we don't hear the difference, but you can see the switch. And what I'm gonna do is just change the plugin settings here. So I'm gonna deselect everything. So without, we get way more grit and it's really nice. So let's listen to that again. We have the intro drums. Yeah. I think at this point it's pretty usable and I would keep it simple and leave it like this. In the program, when I export, I'm gonna put a bit of high roll-off so my voice can be heard better and frequencies don't occupy that space when I'm editing. But to finish the bit, we gotta mix a bit and master it a bit. And yeah, just like that, we have a song. Let's play it now. So yeah, that's basically it. It took me an hour to make this beat and I think it's actually pretty nice and pretty usable. And after all, I think it's nice that I utilized the skills I already have and created something nice for free. So yeah, that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. It was my first time actually doing this type of tutorial and recording my screen. So let me know if you like it and if I should make more of these videos. And most importantly, I hope I inspired some of you guys to use your creative skills and produce some music that you can use in your videos instead of relying solely on huge royalty-free music libraries like Epidemic Sound, even though they're great.